I look scruffy as hell. I need to shave. What's up, guys? Jay's 2 cents on Friday. I love Fridays because I typically get to sleep in on Mondays, Saturdays. I typically get to sleep in on Saturdays, except for tomorrow. Maybe I won't get to because my wife is going to start going back to Zumba because she has a Zumba partner now. Her friend is going with her. And so that means I have to get up at about 9, I guess, which kind of sucks because I tend to sleep in on Saturdays quite a bit because I stay up late Fridays, usually editing or something, and I've got over 2.5 hours of footage that I shot yesterday while doing that PC build, and so that is going to take so much time, and I've got to use that to do Tech Addiction for Sunday because it's going to be a special edition Tech Addiction, computer build, PC gaming on a budget, blah blah blah. And I want to try and make it fun and entertaining, so we got a lot of footage that I can hopefully edit together and make it interesting and exciting. So I didn't really do anything today. I went to work and came home, and my wife had a Tupperware party to go to, or something like that. I don't know. They all get together and they put like bowls on their head and dance around and make forts, I think. Tupperware parties sound awesome, actually. I should go to the next one. But, you know, so I watched Beauty and the Beast with my daughter, and she told me she wants to marry me, so I had to explain to her why she can't marry Daddy, but how she should probably find a guy like Daddy if she wants to marry Daddy, but that she should find a guy that's better than Daddy. And she didn't understand that because to her I'm the best. So, but whatever. I want to talk about a subject that's not weight loss, but it's probably very closely related to being overweight, and that is that of bullying. And because, you know, on Facebook, I'm friends with a few people, including Boogie, and, you know, he puts a lot of stuff up on his personal Facebook page that, you know, he is comfortable saying to people who know him. And he was talking about this little boy, this 12-year-old, who did a little cover of his, you know, Francis Gamer rap. And people have just been brutal to this kid, like absolutely brutal. He's a little overweight. I mean, he's chunky. He's not like fat or anything like that, but he's chunky, and so. You know, YouTube being what it is, the fact that he's a kid and he's overweight were just horrible to him. And so, you know, he was kind of getting upset about that. Boogie was. And it made me think, you know, about my experiences about being overweight in the past and bullied. And my situation is unique because I was not a very overweight kid. And then around 7th, or maybe actually more like 5th grade, through about 7th grade, I went through like a fat period where I was like, I just was really, really bulgy and round. I wasn't like fat. I definitely was on the chunky side. And then in high school, I shot up height-wise, and I got really thin again. In fact, I coached tennis, and I played football, and you know, I was very fit in high school. And then after high school, I, you know, stopped growing that way, and I grew that way for like ever. And how when you go through these different stages, you know, there's just some horrible bullying that goes on. I think being a human, we've all had that bully. I don't think there's a single person in the world who hasn't been bullied. And you know, those bullies, they stick with you your whole life. You never forget their name. And my bully's name happened to be Michael. And I'm not gonna say his last name because I doubt he's anywhere around. Last I heard, he actually ended up having like some real problems in his life, which is almost kind of like bittersweet and ironic, I guess. But this guy made my life hell. And what's funny about that is I was easily twice this kid's size, because as much as I was tall and overweight, he was short and skinny. So it was like the mental side of bullying and what it does to you, and just breaks you down and ruins your self-esteem to the point to where, you know, this little guy makes the big guy feel smaller than the little guy, and then they control you. And so I remember my dad, my dad's you know, retired, you know, military, and he always told me, he's like, look, you know, you got to stand up for yourself, and this is never going to stop if you don't make a stand for yourself. And it sounds really cliche and whatnot, but it was absolutely true. And I remember one day, it was after school, and he and like 4 of his friends cornered me, and I got to the point to where there was no getting out of it. I mean, I was pretty good about getting out of a situation without it being too physical, and I mean, I towered over these kids, but I don't know what it was. I mean, I had just been from first grade all the way up through middle school. So we're talking 6 years, if not more, just constant, fatty, leave some lunch for the other kids, and just, he made 6th grade camp a living hell. I mean, it was the most miserable time I ever had. He's the kind of guy that, like, if I saw him in a distance, I'd get all panicky and, like, heart racing, and I would hide so I'd have to see this guy. And so one day he cornered me in the locker room in middle school, and I couldn't get away. He and his friends were, standing all around me, and he was sitting there. And I remember my dad clear as day telling me, if you ever get in a fight, you never throw the first punch, but you make sure you throw the last one. And it was kind of like that kid on YouTube that got famous in Austria, or I think it was New Zealand actually. Australia, but New Zealand. And he like body slammed that little runt. It was kind of like that. I mean, he threw like a 1-2 combo to my stomach, and this kid didn't hit very hard. It didn't even hurt at all. But I just, sorry, my wife is texting me, but it didn't even hurt. But I just snapped, and I decked this kid so hard. And what's funny about it is he had braces at the time. Funny, right? Because people with braces tend to get made fun of. I hit this kid so hard, he went down, he hit the ground so hard, he cut his lip on his braces, and he starts crying. And we're in 7th grade, we're middle schoolers now, right? We're out of elementary school, and now we're all tough shit now. And he starts crying. His friends look at him, and they look at me, and they're like, because now the giant woke up. And since that day, I've never had to fight bullying, because it really went around, and I just kept getting taller and taller and taller and bigger. And I don't mean bigger as in fat. Like I said, in high school I wasn't really fat, but I started getting bulkier, and I'll tell you right now, it was one of those things where that day changed my life when it came to bullying. But man, when I see people getting bullied online and in person, I always stand up for the people who are getting bullied. But not only do I stand up for them, I kind of try and tell them, look, you've got to stand up for yourself, because nobody's going to be there for you your entire life. And if you don't eventually take some sort of a stand against bullies and bullying, there ain't nothing that's going to change for you. So, I mean, here I am now. I'm 31 years old. We turning 32. Oh my God. But anyway, I'll be turning 32 in a few months, and that's all I want to say is if you're overweight and you're getting bullied, or you're getting picked on, and it happens in adults too. I mean, adults get picked on all the time as well, at work. And do yourself a favor, man. Work on your self-esteem, and start by standing up for yourself. And I'm gonna go ahead and get off here, because my wife is literally blowing up my phone, wanting to answer. She's asking me about ice cream. Shouldn't be eating the ice cream, but damn it, I've been good this week. I'm gonna get out of here, guys. What's your bullying story? Start by putting it down in the comments. If you've been bullied and you don't really talk about it, first step is talking about it. Then get mad about it. Then do something about it.